Hey, how y'all doing? It is Wednesday, people. It's hump day. Boy, howdy, it's been a rough Wednesday. I had to go to town today. I had 5 stops. The first of it was to the passport office, and that took longer than I thought. Time I got out of there, I ran into a bunch of road work that got me tied up in 4 more stops, and I'm running late, so it's already 4:15. Almost there, almost. We're almost there. Y'all got to wait another 5, 6, 7 minutes there before you, well, by the end, never mind. By the time you see this, it's done. All right, what's going on today? First off, I want to thank Leo Sahaki. And boy, howdy, I'm glad he sent me the correct pronunciation of his name. I have been murdering his name. A lot of people murder mine. I get called bridebacks a lot. And I don't mind it, but Sahaki. And that's Leo. That's Biker Wisdom. And I want to show you the collar he sent for one of the dogs. And it's a beautiful leather collar. But what's really nice, I'm going to try to zoom this in, get this on there right. On the back of the collar, he has a map of Texas. Let me get in there. With a blue dot in it. Thank you, Leo. That's cool, baby. I have a coffee cup with a blue dot. I tell you what, since I started this, everything in my family's turned to blue dots. Leo, I appreciate that. I have a buckle I'm going to send to Leo as soon as I get it polished up, put in a box and all that stuff. We're swapping trades here, buddy. He's leather, I'm steel. Anyway, y'all tune in and listen to Leo. He's got a lot to say. I appreciate him using his voice. And boy, howdy shit, I bet he's going to have a lot to say today, just like I do. And I had everything laid out here because in the last few days, we miraculously finally got MSNBC on our TV, which means I have finally got to watch Rachel Maddow. And I watched her the other night, and I like that woman. She's always on point. Anyway, I got other access to news, and we're tickled to death about that. And I had it all up in my mind what I was going to talk about, because she did that story on Bruce Kavanaugh trying to get into the Supreme Court. And boy, ain't he having a lovely time up there with the Senate today. But we'll get to that in a minute. Because what's that the Daily Show says? We ain't got time for that. Why? Because more shit comes out. I had a whole damn thing, and now just a little while ago, breaking news. Yeah, ain't we all tired of that little rhyme? Breaking news, my ass. The New York Times has an op-ed by an anonymous senior White House official. Now, Bob Woodward just had our little preview of Bob Woodward's book, Fear, yesterday. And part of that was all written in here that I want to talk about. But all of a sudden, this op-ed appears, and it hits me like a ton of bricks. I asked on Twitter the other day, how much longer? How much longer is the Republican Party going to wait? This op-ed, the title of the op-ed today is called, I Am Part of the Resistance Inside the Trump Administration. Wow. The title itself about blew me away. Part of the resistance inside the Trump administration? Holy shit, who's that? What's up? Is this part of the deep state? Is it the secret society? Hell no! Best I can figure, it's a patriotic American who works in the Trump administration. Now, we just had Bob Woodward's book come out yesterday, or the prelude to it. Everybody, the news stations all have the book. They're pouring over it. And it describes, what is it they say, a crazy town in our White House, in the people's house. A lunatic in there just doesn't know. They say he's got a 5th grade level of intellect to understand what the hell's going on. But the op-ed came out. He wants you to let this guy wants you to know that he is not part of the resistance movement of the left. That's us, baby. That's me. I am part of the resistance and have been ever since that stinking lying piece of crap came down the escalator and embarrassed the country. And long before that, I thought he was an idiot, just a con man who's out to sell anything he could. I didn't understand just how deep that went until we started looking at him. Anyway, They said they want him to succeed. Our first duty is to this country, though. They want him to succeed. They think he's doing good things for the country as far as security goes and prosperity. That's what they think. We could argue that point. But they said our first duty is to this country. Have a president that continues to act in a manner that is detrimental to the health of our republic. Let that sink in. A senior White House official is telling you that he continues to act in a manner that could destroy this country. I'm starting to really get I don't know, is it a more nervous feeling that he's still in there? A more anxious feeling that somebody on the right, one of those Republican senators, is going to grow some huevos and stand on the Senate floor and stop this Supreme Court nomination stuff? Stop it all until we clean this disgusting man out of our house? You know, our friend Bob Kincaid over at Horn Radio reminded me that impeachment, and that's what we want, baby. I want his ass impeached. And I want everything out in the open when it does. Is only a political remedy. It does not remove him from our house. It does not remove him from the security of our nation. That takes the Senate, and it needs 67 votes in the Senate to remove a president. And already Brett Kavanaugh's over there won't answer the question this morning of can a sitting president pardon himself? Well, I don't know. I don't want to discuss that. You know, all that bullshit. The only reason Kavanaugh is being put on the Supreme Court or trying to be ramrodded on there is because of the Mueller investigation. Because of the spider web that we have seen empty out, which was the reason, I believe, for Kennedy's retirement all of a sudden. So his son doesn't get all wrapped up in this shit. I believe this spider web cracks all over a lot of shit. But they're trying to ram him onto the Supreme Court to save Donnie's ass. But he can't do it alone. Remember that. There would have to be other judges on that Supreme Court agree that Donnie can't be prosecuted. This guy says in the op-ed that many Trump appointees have vowed to preserve our democratic institutions while thwarting Mr. Trump's more misguided impulses until he is out of office. Boy, howdy shit. You know, there's so many things that's going through my mind as I read this stuff. And we have Bob Woodward. I'm starting to get a different look at General Kelly and General Maddox. I've been after General Kelly's ass. What the hell are you doing standing next to that man? Maybe John Kelly's the only thing keeping that man off from hitting a button, starting a war in North Korea. Nothing. So maybe John's being a little bit more patriotic than I gave him credit for. And I'd be the first to apologize for that. But I'm very concerned because you know in Bob Woodward that's not Omarosa's book. That's not Fire and Fury. That's not that kind of book. This man has written a book about every president since Nixon, baby, and he was the one that was the investigative journalist that brought us the Watergate investigation. That revealed the corruption that was in the House. The cancer that was growing on the presidency, I believe John Dean said. He ordered the assassination of Assad. Well, don't you know, well, that would have been nice. Think that would have caused a little uproar. But better heads prevailed. General Maddox, I believe, probably stopped him because it's against international law to assassinate leaders. You need to keep that in mind, Donnie. You're lucky. Of course, Putin, he don't play by them rules, Donnie, so you better keep your ass in line. I said before, it ain't prison Donnie's got to worry about. And Paul Manafort ain't got to worry about. It's not that they got to worry about. It's an umbrella out of nowhere. It's a little spray in the face with something, maybe. Some discreet little way. Accidentally fall out of a window. Oh, it happens over there around Russia a lot. Or people that associated with Putin or some shit. Yep. I think 2 of them now accidentally falling out of a high-rise window. Damn. Got to be pretty damn stupid to do that. But it happens all the time, I understand. You know, Judge Kavanaugh. Boy, howdy. I watched on Rachel Maddow the other night about Kavanaugh when he was trying to deny this young Hispanic girl that had crossed over the border and was in the custody of immigration, and she had been raped and she was pregnant. She didn't want that baby. She went to the courts to get an abortion. The court said okay, but they wouldn't let her leave the building. So they had to go to more courts and more courts to try to get her out of that building, because in Texas, baby, which is where she was being held, there was a 20-week limit. If you don't get an abortion before 20 weeks, you ain't getting one. It's against the law in this state. That's the cutoff point. And Rachel Maddow sat up there with recordings of this judge playing games, trying to delay. Here, we got to do this or we got to do that. We have to find you a sponsor. The sponsor has to be investigated. They have to have a home visit, a sponsor, and all this other bullshit to keep pushing that limit. Play games with that girl's life. Hell no, he doesn't belong on the court. He's bought and paid for it, baby. That's why he's on there. That's why he's on the list. Senator Corker up there mentioned that yesterday. That Kavanaugh was not on the Federalist list for Supreme Court picks until after the Mueller investigation got started up, and then all of a sudden Kavanaugh was on the list. Why? Because Kavanaugh has written before that a sitting president can't go to prison. He can't be charged. He can't be investigated, baby. That judge is an ace in Donnie's pocket. And the whole way of how he got there, and all of his records that are being held back, and the way Senator Grassley is up there running this thing, trying to shove it through. The Democrats have not had a look at his record. We have requested more. They don't want to give them to you. Bug off! That's what the Republican Party's game plan is anymore. It's what Mitch McConnell said when he said no to Garland. That's the game they're playing. They don't give a shit. That's why November 6th, November is the most important election that I can remember. The one that is going to make a deciding factor. I thought it was Obama. When Obama got elected, I thought, that's it, thank God. Thank God it's going to change. And it did. And until the end of it, when the hatred came out of the woodwork, when the worms came crawling out, the little cockroaches from underneath decadent wood, and they come crawling out, creeping around, throwing their little shit around, because they had a leader in Donald Trump. That man, that Russian traitor. By the way, Active Measures, jeez, am I going to watch it 2 or 3 times? That movie. You need to watch that documentary. Be informed? Yeah, Active Measures. Look it up. It's on Hulu. I'm going to watch it again. I've already watched it once. It goes back a long way, and it goes right along with everything we've been talking about since day one I put this thing on. He's a Russian hack. That's who he is. He's a whore for Putin. He's got him. Putin said he got him over a barrel, baby. He's got nothing. He's a disgusting, disgraceful, treasonous asshole. And the Republican Party that is in control of this asswipe, this disgusting page in our history, some of them need to find their balls and stand up and say something. Some of them better start doing it soon, Are you so greedy and wrapped up in your next election that you want to get wrapped up in Donnie's balls? Hell no, they're going to chop him off, baby. What are you going to be hanging on to? Bloody balls. You ain't got nothing. He's a disgusting whore. That's all he is. Watch this shit keep getting more and more. Watch how many upper level cabinet members are going to come out finally and say something. Don't you know he's just having an ape shit fit up there in the White House right now? Don't you know he is just walking around? That's what they say. They say Bob Woodward in his book is his inner circle call him unhinged. He's a liar. He has a 5th grade intellect. He's aggressive and abusive. A Shakespearean king. That's what his self-image is. He's not a president. He's a king. He's a mad king is what he is. And we need to get his ass out of our house. I don't know how long this is going on. I need to watch my time because I could rant on for this. This is why it is so important to every one of us. To me, to my kids and my wife, and your kids, and your wife, and your grandkid, your partner, whoever it is, their future is going to hinge on this election. We can't let this happen any longer to our nation. It's being described within his own circle. He's a lunatic. He's a threat to the national security. He is a threat to our union. I got a letter. From Henry Morrow. Henry Morrow up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Baby, we got family up in Pittsburgh. We have a lot of family up there. I'm so proud of Anthony Robinson. There's a reason I call him out. He knows why, too. Dear John, my brother. All right. You know, doing this shit sometimes, the messages and the letters I get, and I'm nobody. And I'm reminded of it all the time. Dear John, my brother, I am spreading the word about you in Pittsburgh. We're all so glad to see a Democrat finally standing up and fighting back. We love you. This year, my health went south with cancer. My number one bucket wish is to make it to the midterms. Long live Obamacare. Long live Social Security. Long live animal rescues. Long live kindness to all people. And long live the real America I love. Trump is the worst cancer. Let's cut him out before he spreads throughout the body of our beloved country. Fight on, John. Signed, Henry Morrow. His number one bucket list is to make it to the midterms. Yeah, this is important. It's important to me. It's so important to Henry, he wants to hang on until the midterms. This means everything. Oh, I can't remember. This election means everything. The fight against Kavanaugh onto the Supreme Court is everything. Everything we do now for the next few months is the most important time in our nation's history. This is it for us. We saved this republic, or we watch it be destroyed from the inside. And I don't want to see that happen. We need to make our voices louder. We need to get people motivated to vote. Everybody in my district, in your district, in your city, anybody within your reach, your circle of friends, your influence. You have to use your influence wherever you can. We need to be the patriots that the Republican Party is refusing to be. To save this democracy and not leave it to a mad Shakespearean king. He'll do anything to try to stay in power. He'll say anything to try to stay in power. He will try to stimulate his little minions to rise up to defend him. We cannot let that happen. Republican or Democrat, if you love this country, if you are a patriot of this country, if you want to stand up for this country, then stand up against this man. Tell your senators and your congressmen, hell, tell your dog catcher to stand up against this man, to voice our opinion. This is not normal. This is a disgusting Russian attack on the inside of our society. It's being pushed through the internet, on Facebook and Twitter, everything else that you could think of. Because Donnie doesn't want to stop it. His plan is to hand this country over to Putin in a handbasket. And I'm not going to let him do it. You're not going to let him do it. I know it. So, whatever we have to do, stay on the line. You can't stay in the bunker on this one. You can't wait this one out, baby. Everybody has to be on the line, or we don't make it. We stand next to each other, all of us together, or we don't make it. And I want to make it. I want my family to make it. I want them to look in history books 100 years from now and be proud of the people that stood up for this democracy. I'm nobody. But you can make an impact. That's all it takes is a voice. I love y'all. Hey! Look at that camera over there. Ain't that some shit? That's pretty neat camera work. And, of course, want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody that writes, that sends me dog collars or quilts or oyster shells or candy. It's kept my spirits up. Keep this fight going, baby. Spread this news. Anybody. Listen to Leo. Listen to the new ones that are coming up, they're making their voice heard. Talk amongst your friends. Open your mouth and use your voice if you can. But come together, because this is all we got. Sure hope this was recording. It says stop recording, so I'm going to stop recording and like, share, and subscribe and all that other bullshit.